Hey guys, it's Danny here and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is my very first pick a card reading on my channel, and the question is, what do you need to know right now? And in honor of my very first pick a card reading, I am wearing my tarot t-shirt to get into a little bit of the mood, so let's get right into it. The question that I've asked is, what do you need to know right now? So I've picked 3 piles and I've got some crystals as well to resonate. So if you haven't ever done a pick a card reading before, this is pile number 1, this is pile number 2, and this is pile number 3. So go with the first pile that you feel drawn to and really make sure to trust your intuition with this one, because your intuition is what's going to be guiding you in this particular reading. Take a moment to close your eyes if that works for you, and you may see a number or hear a number. You may feel drawn to more than one pile as well, which is perfectly okay. But I also just want you guys to know that this reading is timeless. So whenever you want to come back to this video and you may feel drawn to a different pile based on different circumstances, then this video will always be accessible and be relevant for you to receive your message of what do you need to know right now in the moment that you're choosing to watch the video. So we've got, for pile number 1, we've got this blue crystal here. For pile number 2, we've got this one here, and for pile number 3, we've got this calcite. So if the crystals help you, if you feel drawn to a particular one, that may help you as well. Otherwise, just take a moment to pause the video if you need and choose your pile. And when you feel ready, head to the description box below to look at the timestamps for your particular pile. So if you picked pile number 1, this is the reading for you. So we've got the Spirit Fox, trust your talents in changing times. Protection Guardian, drop your shields. And Air Guardian, shift your perception. So the first thing I see from this is that I feel like you guys have gone into defense mode or protection mode, and it looks like there is something changing in your life that you may be quite fearful of, and you might be quite resilient to this change that's occurring, which is why you're going into this protection kind of mode. And I'm kind of getting the feeling that maybe you're not wanting this change to occur. You're not really kind of welcoming it in, which, I mean, it makes sense. There are a lot of changes occurring naturally due to the circumstances, but it could be a change in your personal life or career, or maybe relationships, friendships, things like that. But this particular card, the Spirit Fox, it's really saying to trust yourself in this time. And I'm also feeling like it's saying to be, it's safe and it's okay. Like the heart is activated in this card, and it's, trust your talents in changing times. So I think it's really saying to come back to yourself when you feel fearful or kind of resistant to something that's occurring or changing in your environment, to go back into your heart and also connect with the third eye, connect with your intuition. You've got the heart here and the third eye. The intuition is really being highlighted in this card. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I'm really feeling like it's saying come back to yourself. When things get a little bit challenging or a bit tough and maybe things aren't sitting so comfortably with you, go back into your true self. Maybe meditation is what works for you, or dancing to some music. Find whatever works for you. Find some sort of way to reconnect with your body. Maybe it's yoga or going for a run. I'm really feeling like you need to reconnect with your physical body in order to reconnect with your emotions. So it's really about, going back into that trust within yourself. But I'm feeling like it may be coming from a place of not feeling like you're safe. So I just want to remind you, this is a general reading, so it may not resonate the same for everyone, but what I was just getting is that, you may not be feeling so safe in a particular situation. I don't mean that you're endangered in any way, but maybe it's like just feels uncomfortable, maybe something's coming up that's really causing discomfort. So when you feel that, make sure to just reconnect with those emotions within you and reconnect with the heart and the intuition and find out what's really going on, really tap into yourself and trust yourself that it's okay and that it's safe. And that's really where, this protection guardian ties in again to drop your shields. She's like an angel. It's like you are being protected. She's a protection guardian. So you're always being protected. It's safe for you to maybe be exploring particular things that are in your life. Maybe you're facing some really tough emotions or doing some shadow work. I know that that's come up for a lot of people during this time, during the pandemic. We're really kind of being faced with the darker parts of ourselves that maybe we tend to neglect or ignore, at least in our general lives. So, it's really, I'm also feeling like it's about reconnecting with your roots, reconnecting with kind of where you come from and who you are on a deeper level, and allow yourself to experience that and feel through that fear or any pain, emotional or physical pain that may come up. Feel through it, and it's okay. And we've got the air guardian here. Shift your perception. I'll just show you guys this one. She's in air, but it almost looks like water. Whenever I see this card, I always feel like she's actually in water, which is so funny. So I'm really feeling like it's about going with the flow and not being again resistant is coming up. And I'm also getting the word resilient, like you are resilient, and it's like you're wearing this crown, whether you're a male or female. Like you are like the decider of your own life. You are the king or queen of your own life. Like you take charge. It's time to take charge is what I'm getting. So we've also got time to ground. Just move these ones over a little bit. And we've got surrender to the flow. Wow. Time to ground and surrender to the flow. So I'm really seeing a theme here. So time to ground. I'll show you guys this one. It's all about the earth, and I'm also getting a lot of oneness, a lot of connection to the earth and to nature, to animals, and also this heart chakra again. I know it's a turtle, but the heart, it's also being activated with this green. So time to ground. Actually, I'm going to swap these around for you guys. So what I'm getting is that maybe now's a good time to go out in nature a bit more, spend a bit more time outdoors, even walking outside with bare feet or putting your feet in the earth. I know that sounds really weird sometimes if people haven't experienced it before, but I actually do it a lot, and I find it really helpful because they actually found that when you put your feet in the earth, all the electricity and that kind of electric energy in our body goes back into the ground, and it helps, can release a lot of anxiety, or like if you're having a panic attack. So that might work for some of you guys, spending time outside without shoes on. But what I'm actually getting, the main thing I'm getting is, take time to process whatever's going on and be kind with yourself and don't rush the process. This turtle, it's like turtles are never in a rush unless they're running away from something, but they're always they just go with the flow. They just swim with the tides of the ocean. Turtles literally just move with the tides. And again, reconnect with those emotions, but don't rush it. Don't rush the process or force anything. Know that it's okay for things to just come as they will. And I believe that we always receive whatever we need in the moment that we need it. And as well, we only receive what we're capable of receiving. So same with this message, like you are hearing exactly what you need to hear right now in this moment. So take time with yourself, don't rush what's going on, and also look at it from a different perspective. Try and, again, it ties into that shift your perception. Try and look at it from a different point of view. Like if you were giving the same advice to a friend, as opposed to what you're telling yourself, maybe whatever that self-talk is and that chatter in your head, what would you say to a friend? So just remind yourself of that. And I think that will help ground you as well, because it's all about being kind to yourself. To me, this card is really about kindness. That turtle to me just really talks about being kind and loving to yourself and not being too hard on yourself, just going with the flow. Again, with this air guardian, just go with the flow. Don't rush things. You know, it's okay to just go with the flow. And you know what's so funny is that I actually didn't even properly process this card, but this card is literally surrender to the flow. And I actually hadn't even looked at it. So, you know, this ladybug is just chilling on a leaf, just going with the way, the tides of the, whatever it is, space. It looks like the galaxy. And, you know, 4-4 is the number. 4-4 actually represents your spirit guides trying to contact you, you know, someone trying to get in touch with you and tell you that they're protecting you and they're guiding you, and you're being guided. So again, it's a really big theme of go with the flow, surrender to the flow. You may be feeling like you're being pulled in different directions, and maybe that's necessary for your journey to feel that pull in different directions. And what do you want to do, and question like which direction do I really want to go in, or which is the best option for me? But I actually think that when you just sit with yourself and give yourself patience to process whatever it is that you need, or think things through or feel things through, that this card, whatever this card is showing us, you know, the different directions, that will become more clear of which direction should you go in, or what's the next step for you to take. And a lot of it is all about the next step, but it's actually just saying, don't force the next step and don't try and control it. You know what I'm getting actually? Just let it come to you. Let it come to you. This leaf is just flowing in whichever direction. And I know that can be sometimes really scary, and we often want to control what the outcome of situations will be. But everything that this reading is telling me so far is try not to force things, because when you're forcing it, it's actually preventing opportunities to come to you. Maybe that's the abundance that you've been calling in, you know, that when you're trying to control it, you're actually pushing it away even more. So let it come to you, and that may be uncomfortable, but if it does feel uncomfortable, if hearing that feels uncomfortable, ask yourself, why is that uncomfortable? You know, that may be really helpful to know, why is that uncomfortable for you? And maybe do some journaling on it. I think that would actually be really helpful for you guys. So the next card we've got Stone People, Vigilance. We've got, let's just move this a little bit. We've got Rain, Purification. We've got Tsunami, Wake Up Call. So you know what's really interesting is that I was actually only intending to pull out 2 cards of this particular deck that I'm using. And for your pile number 1, 3 cards just fell out. And I thought, okay, there's 3 messages for you. So I'm just going to shift it again because I keep doing it in the wrong order. Sorry about that. So Stone People, Vigilance. So again, it's about being strong and, you know, having some awareness. But I also, what I'm getting more from this card than the actual message of vigilance is, I think at the moment you may be feeling stuck, you know, like I think you're kind of here, you're in this area, you're stuck around all the stones, all these huge stone kind of things, and it's a clear sky and you can see the clearing you can see there's like some open space, but you're feeling stuck and you're walking through it, you're heading towards the clearing and you're heading towards the sunlight out of the dark, but you're still in the dark. So what I'm getting is that just keep moving forward. Keep moving forward, and there's no need to force it, because you can see that the path is clear in front of you. There's maybe a few kind of obstacles in the way and a few things that sort of impact the situation, and I don't think that they're going to be big things because the path is pretty clear. But just keep walking. I think at the moment, maybe you're feeling like it's a long journey or there's a lot of work to be done to get to where you're trying to go. But I'm really feeling like you're almost there, and you can see the light at the end of the tunnel, but you just have to keep persevering throughout that. Keep getting there. And once you do get to that point and you kind of get out of this dark space that you're standing in right now, it's not black, there's still a little bit of light coming through, but once you're out of that, you're going to understand why you've gone through what you have been going through, why you've been having this particular experience. I'm getting that there's been something going on for you guys. You've been having some kind of experience that's been challenging, and again, a lot of resistance to maybe just going with the flow and just trusting whatever it is that was going on. But once you get out of this space, you're going to feel so relieved and you're going to feel so free. Like, this is the rain, purification. You're going to feel so free, and it may be a little bit difficult at first and there may be a lot of emotions coming up, but just know that's actually the purging. That's the release of the emotions, and it's going to be okay. You're actually going to feel so much better once you kind of purge all these things and clear out all the stuff. It's going to be literally a purification. You're going to feel like you've almost dropped like all this baggage that you've been carrying. It's going to be like release. You're going to be like, oh, finally I'm free, So it's going to be great once you get out of there. But there will be some challenges, but I think once you kind of process that, it's going to be literally tsunami, a wake-up call. Like, don't be scared by this card, because I know tsunami's obviously not very pleasant. Don't be scared by this. It's just going to be a lot of processing of emotions, the moon. And maybe even healing the feminine side, and that goes for both men and women. We all have the masculine and feminine within us. So you may be actually kind of healing that feminine, the wounded feminine in you, and that part of you that maybe you haven't really nurtured so much in the past. But I think it's going to be a great awakening for you. I think you're going to start to recognize a lot of things that maybe in the past you hadn't thought about before. And again, don't be afraid by this wake-up call. I feel like often that can be perceived as being kind of a scary thing, but I really don't think it's going to be scary. I think it's actually going to be, it may be surprising, and there'll be like a lot of new things that maybe you haven't thought about before, or maybe things that you haven't really processed before, but it's going to be a door to something new, and I think it's going to be really eye-opening. So yeah, just allow yourself to feel those emotions. It's safe for you to feel those emotions, and it will be really great in the long run, for sure. So the last card we've got is new opportunities. So that's the answer. So once you process all of this, and you go through this, this purification and this wake-up call, this processing or purging of all this kind of darkness and pain, and you heal these parts of you, new opportunities will arrive. And you know what? Like, this purple card, purple is such a healing color to me, and it's also a color that represents spirituality. I really think that once you go through this whole process, new opportunities are going to come up for you. You're going to have opportunities to things that maybe you hadn't even thought were possible in the past. It's going to be a great experience, because I'm really feeling like once you've gone through this whole process, and although it may be hard and it may be challenging in the moment, once you go through this process, you're going to receive what you've been wanting to receive. Like, what you've been calling in will come to you. It's just that you've got your guard up and you're kind of not able to see what's coming yet. But once you do a lot of this clearing, this opportunity will come to you. And I actually have a feeling that a lot of you guys know what I'm talking about when I say new opportunity. I feel like there's something that you have been calling in and you know what it is that I'm talking about. So, that's going to come, but it's just that you have to do some work first. You have to just do this work first, and then this will come to you. So it doesn't mean it's going to be a long journey for all of you. I think for some of you, it may be a bit of a journey still to get there and to process it, because I think that there may be some fear involved and there is some resistance still. But again, when you feel that resistance, I just want to remind you to come back to the spirit fox. Foxes are really playful. They're all about having fun and being lighthearted. And they're really, to me, foxes really represent a part of that inner child, that joyfulness. So just come back to what brings you joy. What makes you happy, and reconnect with your heart and your intuition. Really trust yourself. I really want to remind you to trust yourself. Always come back to yourself. When you feel this resistance or this fear, or you feel like, oh, I can't do this, whatever it may be that comes up for you, always come back to yourself and trust yourself. And there will be great opportunities at the end of this. I promise you. Because this card is here. And it's so funny because this is a fairy deck. And for all piles that I did tonight, the fairies were really just like jumping out. Like they really wanted to be spoken about. They wanted to be heard. So yeah, I'm really excited for you guys. I think that this is going to be really exciting. And I also want to pick another card. Sorry, I was just trying to find my deck. I want to pick a mantra for you so that you can have a mantra to take away from this. So let's find out what mantra you guys need to hear right now. Okay. So your healing mantra is rewiring the nervous system, and that's your image. So take a moment to have a look at that, because these cards are encoded with images that are actually healing. And they don't speak to the conscious mind, of course, these images, but they speak to the subconscious and the spiritual mind. So rewiring the nervous system. And your message is, I find strength in surviving my traumas. So it really, I feel, resonates with, what your reading has been about today and what you need to know right now. And again, don't be fearful by traumas. It doesn't mean that it doesn't even have to be something that you would call traumatic. It could just be something that really was uncomfortable for you. But, it's there to remind you that I find strength in surviving my traumas. Chant that during your meditation or during yoga, or just even if you're just driving in the car, just that's your message. That's what you need to know right now. To sum up this reading is that you find strength in surviving your traumas. So that's all for you guys, Pile 1. Thanks for joining me. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, click the subscribe button down below. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye. So if you picked pile number 2, this is the reading for you. So we've got Lord, take charge with authority. Mirror Guardian, take time to reflect. And we've got the Knight, be brave and honest. So what you guys need to know right now is, what I'm getting is that you may be feeling like you're being overpowered in some situation, and you may feel that there's something, you feel like you're not in control in a particular way, and you feel, you sort of feel like, I'm getting that maybe you're not speaking up, you're not really speaking your truth is what I'm getting actually. And the first thing I'm kind of feeling after that is, you need to ask why you're not speaking your truth, and what is that actually saying about you? What is it that you need to learn from not speaking your truth? What is it that you're fearful of? this mirror guardian, take time to reflect. What are you afraid of facing? And what are you not being brave about? This card was actually reversed. So when cards are reversed, it often can mean that that energy is being stifled. So I'm feeling like maybe you're not being honest with yourself and you're not really speaking your truth. So let's pull some more cards. So next we've got let two become one. And we've got be patient. Okay. It's becoming more clear to me now. I wasn't really sure what it was exactly about, but I can see it now. So I'm really feeling now that this is actually a relationship that you're not speaking a truth about. And it is really important that you be honest with yourself, at least, even if you're not being honest with the other person. It could even be a friendship, but it's definitely involving another person, because we've got this card. They're it's kind of like the lovers in a way. It doesn't have to be romantic, but I'm definitely feeling like it definitely could be romantic, or you're wanting that to be a romantic connection could be another thing. So I feel like I think I said before, you're not feeling empowered, and I'm getting that again, that I was getting that you feel like someone's overpowering you. So I'm understanding could be a partner. And this card, be patient, it's kind of a weird looking card. It's like a multicolored dragon, but I think that this one's actually saying that you're thinking too much with your head and you're not enough. You're thinking a lot with your mind and using your mind a lot, maybe to justify particular actions, and you're not actually trusting how you're feeling about the situation. So I want to ask you, how are you feeling about the situation, if this is resonating with you? So again, this is a general reading, so you may find that not everything is 100% resonating with you, but if this is resonating with you, how are you really feeling about that situation? And I want you to ask yourself that question, because it's interesting. There's so many roses and even kind of this is quite like a serious card. So I really think you need to look at the situation and ask, what is it here to teach me? What am I meant to learn? What is the mirror saying? We are all reflections of each other, and we always attract the energy that we're putting out, and we also attract the frequency we're on, and we bring in what we need to learn. So not every experience is a great experience, even though we would like every experience to be positive and be really beautiful. I think you need to ask yourself, what am I getting from this experience, and what am I learning from it? So immediately what I'm getting for you, what you need to know right now, is that you need to speak up, and you need to stand in your power. It's really about standing in your power. Again, take charge with authority. You need to stand in your power. But in standing in your power, you need to also ask, what am I getting from this? What do I need to learn? How is this other person treating me? And am I treating myself in the same way? We often want to be treated really well by other people, particularly if we're in a relationship, but a lot of the time the way that someone else is treating us is actually the same way that we have treated ourselves in the past, or we are in this moment. And when it can sometimes take time to be able to see that, because it can be very confronting to see that part of ourselves that we are doing that to ourselves, or that someone else is doing that to us. But I really think that it's about reflecting on your emotions right now, and how can you also pull in a more authentic and genuine love that will, be nurturing and be caring and make you feel safe and make you feel make you feel like you are being loved and cared for? How will looking at the mirror, and how will taking charge and speaking up and being honest with yourself, how will that help you get to where you want to be? So next we've got Milky Way, perspective. And then we've got winter solstice, reflection. It's so interesting because this card and these cards kind of similar, like the galaxy kind of imagery. So I think that you need to change your perspective about yourself. And I know I said it is about someone else, but I really think it is about you. It always comes back to you because this is what you need to hear right now. So what are you seeing? Or what's the situation, and what is not clear? You know, what isn't clear about the situation, and it may be like you're feeling like you're in a dark place, or, you know, I think also it's not necessarily you're in a dark place, but I think you're seeing something as being maybe a really positive experience when that's not necessarily how it actually may be truly. So I think you need to take a step back. You know, the Milky Way is like so far away, we can't actually see what's going on inside the Milky Way. So take a step back. And I think you need to review the situation a bit closer and have a look and see, what am I really seeing? And what is the truth of what I'm seeing? And again, it's connecting with this reflection. And this is winter, there's snow and there's ice, but there's this lake and it's got the reflection. And again, it's about that mirror. There's definitely a theme happening. What is it that you need to reflect on? What is it that you need to look within and see the truth in? I'm feeling like there's something that you're not seeing clearly necessarily, and I think that actually a part of you actually does know the truth of it or can see things clearly, but I think that there may be some fear, again, tied to this, there's some fear in seeing what is the situation that's really going on, or what's really going on at hand. But then that again ties into, you need to take charge, because no one can change the situation for yourself but you. Only you can change this situation and have the power over this situation. So try not to, freeze up or close off your emotions. I'm getting like that you may be freezing up. Maybe even hearing this message may not be very nice, and you're not really wanting to hear this message. And maybe you're feeling tempted to click out of this video because you don't want to hear this message or hear the truth. And if you don't want to and you're not ready, then that's okay as well. But immediately I am feeling like there's some freezing up and some resistance. You're not really ready for it yet, which is fine. That's okay. You be ready in your own time. No one's going to force you. But this is kind of like a little bit of a push, or a little bit of just encouragement to just take a little bit of a look further, have a little bit more of a look and see what really is going on and seeing what comes up for you. So the next two cards, we've got vacation. We've got problem resolved. Wow, beautiful. I love that. So with these cards, the fairy cards, I actually was only intending on picking one, but these two fell out. So I figured both of these messages needed to be shared. And now I can see why. So vacation is definitely saying to take a step back, take a break. It doesn't have to be a physical holiday, since we can't really go anywhere at the moment, a lot of us, considering the pandemic. But take a step back and take a break from the situation. And again, I think it's this, with all these images, I think it is about finding the joy within again. Like, have a little holiday of your own, have a vacation of your own, go and find that joy again, because a lot of this I feel like was quite serious and really about connecting with yourself and questioning a lot of things. I felt like it really was about kind of getting like deep and heavy within your emotions. But with this card, it is saying to just have a bit more fun, be a bit more lighthearted, don't stress too much, just relax and the situation will sort itself out. We've got problem resolved. So, and this is interesting because it's like she's on a holiday. It's like she's got like the mountain behind her and like the ocean almost looks like Hawaii or something. So I think if you do just take a step back, take a break, maybe, don't try and force the situation or try and push anything further than it needs to be pushed. The situation will sort itself out and you will feel like untangled from whatever it may be. But it's interesting because she's got this snake tied around her. So I think once you kind of have reconnected with yourself and found the joy in yourself, and maybe this was also about being liberated from something, that's what I'm getting. It's also about feeling liberated from a situation, feeling free. Then you're going to actually find the snake. You're actually going to be the one in power. You're going to feel more empowered, and it's kind of almost going to be like the tables have turned in a situation. So problem resolved, but also try not to have too much control, or don't have like a vengeance or come back, try and like prove something to do with the situation. Just, I think this is also about accepting the situation and not trying to push it beyond. Like once the problem has been resolved, don't try and push it beyond that feeling of it being resolved, or don't try and prove something, because then I think it will actually, you won't feel so great that maybe you've pushed it too far. So when you do, if that does happen, just reconnect with that part that has fun and doesn't care too much about things. You're not tied to anything here. You're free, and you're just able to see the beauty in life. You're able to see the joys in life. So allow the situation to resolve itself, but don't try and kind of come back with something even stronger. So that's what I'm getting. So I want to pick one more card. I want to pick a mantra for you guys to leave this reading with. A mantra for you. So what you guys got is asking for angelic support. So you can have a look at this picture. These messages, these cards are actually encoded. These images are encoded with healing properties that, reach the subconscious and the spiritual self. So asking for angelic support, and your message is, my angels respond when I am open and authentic about how I feel. So I think it's a really nice kind of clarification that when you are feeling like maybe you are feeling kind of a loss of power or not really sure where things stand for you, just ask for angelic support. Ask for that support and they will be there. They're always there waiting to help you. And to me, that's clarification. They're wanting to help you. So be open to that. Be open to that and be patient for those messages to come through, and be patient for the situation to sort itself out. And remember, you are in control. You are in power. You're the one in power here. Just make sure that you're being honest with yourself about how you truly feel. Again, let's talk about how you feel. Be honest with yourself about how you feel and take a step back. See the situation from a different perspective. And maybe look at it from a perspective of someone else that's not in your shoes, or how someone else would see it if they weren't in your particular, in your boat. And always know that it's okay to call on your angels when you need support, because they're always there listening and there to help you. So I hope you enjoyed that reading, pile 2. If you did, make sure to give it a like. And if you haven't already, click the subscribe button below. And thanks for joining, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Hey guys, if you chose pile number 3, this is the reading for you. So we've first got Shaman, trust in higher forces. Beautiful. We've got Guardian Angel, you are not alone. And we've got Father Sky, trust in the unknown. Wow, that's so nice. So I'm definitely seeing a theme here. Alrighty. So we've got the 2 birds, we've got feathers, 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 feathers. So what you guys need to know right now is that you're being guided towards something. There's something guiding you. And I'm getting that you may be feeling called to something in particular. I feel like there's something calling you, and you're maybe starting to explore that now. You're starting to explore that calling. And it's so interesting because the owl represents wisdom, and in Native American culture it's like the wisdom of the ancestors, I believe. And so we've got this owl saying, that it's there to teach you something. And we've got these bells. I'll show you guys a bit closer. So we've got these bells, and often with these bells and stuff, that's lessons for us to learn, and there's things for us to learn. So there's definitely a calling towards something. And with this card, the guardian angel, you're not alone. I'm actually feeling like you're being called for a reason, and there's, as much as you may think that it's your choice, there's a reason you're being called to something. It is a choice, of course. I don't mean that in a negative way at all, but you're being called because there's a duty for you to do something. And I don't mean on a very surface level. I'm really getting that this is quite a spiritual reading, and quite a deep reading as well. There's definitely you're having a higher calling that maybe you haven't experienced before, and there's something guiding you. And we've got the sun and the moon. It's like the masculine and feminine, and we've got an eye. It's like you're being watched, you're being protected, but you're being called to, it's almost like a mission, like you're being called to like complete a mission. And we've got the eagle here, and the eagle is all about strength and power and looking at things from a higher perspective, and Father Sky, trust in the unknown. So I think at this point, there's something calling you. You're feeling drawn to something that maybe is quite different than normal, than what you would normally be drawn to. And maybe you're not sure why you're being drawn to this. It may be quite random, or it could be like a sudden like change of career, like change of heart about a situation. Or maybe you're feeling like you need to go somewhere in particular, explore some culture, or I'm not sure what it is exactly. I think, that's for you guys to understand, and this is for you guys to know what is really going on. But what it is that you need to know, what you're feeling called to. But this one is saying, trust that process, trust that calling, and listen to that calling, because it's definitely going to take you somewhere for sure. Like there's a reason you're being called. And having all these cards, like these are such kind of deep spiritual cards in this particular deck, even though obviously it is quite spiritual, but these are all quite deep. Like having the shaman, it's like the ancestors are calling you, they're guiding you, they're saying, come on, like let's do something. And guardian angel and Father Sky, it's all coming from the kind of esoteric and spiritual realms that you're being called. So let's find out what you guys are being called to do right now. So we've got protect the wild and green, and we've got know your fears. Okay. So protect the wild and green over here. What I'm getting is you're actually being called to reconnect with the truth of who you are. So I'm really getting that from like a soul level, like the truth of who you are on a soul level. And I don't know if you guys believe this, but I believe we have many past lives, and when we're drawn to something in particular and we are really maybe like really naturally talented at something, it's because we've actually mastered that before, and we often feel drawn to things that we've already mastered. Same in this lifetime. If you can do things, if you're really good at something, you're naturally going to enjoy it, generally speaking, most of the time at least. So it's coming back to the truth of who you are. And I don't know why, but something about integrity is coming up, like kind of like fighting for what you believe in, almost like protecting like your kind of what is yours, protecting what is yours. Yeah, it's like all about reconnecting with you and reconnecting with your truth. And with this one here, it's sort of like when you reconnect with this part of you, or you follow this particular calling, it's going to help resolve a lot of fears that you may have. And I think that something's going to actually be unleashed within you. You're going to almost like, it's like you're going to unleash this like power within you that you didn't even know you had. It's like this untapped knowledge is going to just start coming through you. And I know this card, it kind of looks a little bit scary, but I really feel like it's this like untapped knowledge and this power within you that you actually haven't activated yet, because you haven't known how to activate it yet and it hasn't needed to come out yet. But I think that when you follow this particular calling, and you know what, when I say calling, I don't mean it's necessarily something great and like so grand like in a superhero movie, but it could even be just like doing something different. Like your calling could be like every day you pick a flower from like your neighbor's garden, for example. Like you may feel that's like a calling. Just to give you like an example, like I just think even from that you can get a message, or these flowers could like bring you feelings of like empowerment. Just to give you like a very simple example. It's probably going to be more than just that, but there's some knowledge that's going to come through and you're going to feel really powerful. It's going to release a lot in you, and it may be scary. Not scary, like you're not going to be terrified, but there may be some sort of uncertainty or like anxiety around it because it's different and it's something that you haven't tried before, or you've been too afraid to try, maybe due to like societal beliefs and societal pressures. But it's definitely going to be exciting. Like, let's see what else is coming up. So we've got childhood, innocence, and we've got river, movement. Cool. All right. So what I'm getting is that what you need to know right now is when you reconnect with this part, or when you follow this, whatever it is that's coming through, you're going to feel more connected to the truth of who you are, which I know I kind of mentioned that before, but you're going to have a lot of joy from this. It's like that inner child in you, that part of you that just does whatever it wants to do. Like if you look at children, they just do whatever they want to do. They just have fun. They don't really think about the repercussions all the time. They just say what they want to say and don't get worried about offending someone. And that's what's going to happen. You're going to feel free. You're going to feel free. And if you look at this card, okay, sorry guys, had a bit of technical difficulty, but I'm back. So what I was saying with this particular card, it's like the little girl is coming out of the shadow, like the sun is coming out of the shadows. So I think that it will help you, whatever this, journey it is that you're kind of going through, or this calling, this experience that you're going to have. It's going to bring out that inner child, that inner playfulness and that lightheartedness. And I think it will help you kind of, I feel like it will help kind of lighten the load of maybe feel the feelings that maybe you're having in the current situation. I really feel like maybe this is about career in particular. Maybe you're having a change in your career, or considering changing your career, and maybe it's something that is a lot more about being true to you and not what is expected of you by other people. And if you do choose to make that choice, or whatever it may be, it's not necessarily about career, but if whatever this kind of feeling that you're being called to, whatever it is that you're being called to, it will help you reconnect with that child, that innocent part of you, and that part that just has fun and does things because they want to and not because others expect it of them. So with this movement card, we've got the river, movement. It also is like, it's interesting, it's also that darkness, and then the sunlight is coming through and kind of shining light. So I think, again, this is about connecting with your emotions. It's kind of like light is being shone onto the emotions and the truth of what you maybe want to be doing, or where you want to be headed. Where do you want to be headed? Which direction do you want to go into? And I feel like things are becoming clear for you now that maybe weren't clear before, that you're having some clarity about particular things, and there's some sort of shift that's happening. I'm really feeling like there's a shift happening, and it may even be like in your energetic field, or in your body. Like we've got this card, this is your last card, body, movement. And it's all the fairies, and they're all dancing in the moonlight. So they're kind of taking in that kind of they're like it's like reconnecting with the emotions, reconnecting with their feelings and their bodies. And I think it's interesting because we've got movement here and we've got movement here, and I definitely think it's about the direction and kind of being in control of yourself, and not feeling like you're doing things for other people, or not feeling like you're doing things out of like some sort of need of like control or expectations. And I think a lot of it is about a shift, like you're shifting from how you used to be into like a new way. A new part of you is shifting. Like the emotions are changing, they're flowing in a different way. We've got the emotions here again, like they're dancing and like bathing in this moonlight, and you know that represents the emotions and the vulnerabilities, and that it's at nighttime, so it's kind of like this part of them that hasn't been seen before, or the time when everything's quiet, that's when they're dancing in the silence, in that darkness. So it's like celebrating that part of you that maybe hasn't been discovered. And again, it's like these cards are kind of like all quite dark, but then we've got the light coming through. So I feel like it's really, really something positive. Like you guys are really going in a positive direction. There's something definitely changing for the better, but it's really like your choice if you're going to take that leap. I think you will, based on this reading, because I think it's already there. It's already in your energy field. I actually feel like even if you tried to resist it, it would just kind of pull you back, because I think it's really what you're meant to be doing. Like you're meant to go in this direction. It's like this river, like the river can't flow in the other way. It's only going to go in the one direction. So it's really about reconnecting with what you truly want to do. Like feel it in your body. Like what do you want to do, and in which direction do you want to go in? And maybe I think that when you ask yourself that, you kind of know the answer, but there may be some fear about where is it going to lead to, you know? Where's it going to lead to? But trust in the unknown. If you're being called to it, then you're meant to be doing it for a reason. And there's a reason you're being called now, because a lot of things are changing right now for all of us, but especially for you guys, because there's definitely something changing for you. I'm actually really excited for you guys. I think that this is really exciting. This journey is going to be really fun, really cool. So I'm just going to pull a very last card. I'm going to pull a healing mantra for you and see what there is for you guys to know. You know, what's your mantra? What do you need to know? So your mantra is rewriting the subconscious. Rewriting the subconscious. Tongue twister for me right now. So these images are actually encoded with a message. So have a look at the image, and they're encoded with a message to get through to your subconscious and the spiritual mind. So just have a look at that. And your message, your mantra is, the more I embrace feeling good, the less often I will feel bad. The more I embrace feeling good, the less often I will feel bad. So again, this is about connecting with that part of you that feels joy. You know, what makes you feel good? What do you want to do? What do you get joy from, and what will make you feel less bad, you know? So you can say that when we wake up in the morning, we're doing yoga and meditating. The more I embrace feeling good, the less I feel bad, the less often I will feel bad. So that's your mantra, that's your healing mantra, and that is rewriting the subconscious. So that's your message, pile 3. I hope that you guys enjoyed that. If you did and you found it really helpful and it answered some things for you, then make sure to give it a like. And if you haven't already, make sure to click the subscribe button down below. And thanks for joining me, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.